Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything. I'm coming at you with another Wargaming miniature video. In this video, we're going to be assembling this Italeri World of Tanks Panther tank. Okay, so we're going to be building this tank today, and I've got the sprues right here, and I've got some tools that I'm going to be using, and directions. Alright, so let me kind of focus in on this real close and we'll get started. Alright, so this model might take me an hour to put together or something like that, so bear with me, but we're going to go ahead and I'm going to push that off to the side. Let's get the instructions. Now this model does come with plastic cement from Italeri. We're not going to actually use that. I'm going to use the DAP Rapid Fuse because I've actually fallen in love with that glue. You've got 3 panels of instructions right here, and first thing they want us to do apparently is put the tracks together. So let's go ahead and snip these. I'm using some Squadron safety sprue snippers. You can get these type of snippers at any hardware store. Okay, I'm going to need, alright, we're definitely going to need the traction bogey wheels, the ones that actually have the threads on them to pull the tracks along. That's where the transmission hooks up to that. I think that's all the pieces I need off of this sprue. Let's go ahead and get these off. Italeri does make some Wargaming models like this one where they're easy assembly so that you can get them put together, painted, and on your battlefield pretty quickly. These are not designed as a complicated model. These are designed as Wargaming pieces, and that's why I like them, because that's what I'm going to use them for. I'm going to use it to wargame. And the price isn't too bad either. I got this at Hobby Link, and Hobby Link has this model for sale for right around $25, I think it was. Actually, I think there was a sale when I bought it. I think it was actually only $20. I'm a member of their Hobby Link club or whatever, and I get emails telling me when certain things are on sale. Okay, and that's that for that. Alright, so I got these pieces out. Now, I did have to snip them, so I want to make sure that I clean up the areas where I snipped so that there won't be any flash. So let me go ahead and clean these little pieces up, getting rid of like any of the mold lines, and then we'll be right back. Alright, I got that done. Now, as I'm putting this together, I want to kind of touch on a topic that I've been asked. Mr. Everything, what's the difference between a mold line, flash, and a burr? Well, a mold line is when you're looking at the model and the model was put together with it was put in a mold, and a mold is usually on both sides. You put the plastic in there, and or the lead or the pewter or whatever, and the other half of the mold is on this side. Now, a lot of times there will be a hole that injects it into there and fills the mold up with plastic, and when the mold is broken and you take the pieces apart and you pull this piece out, the mold, it would have been in like this, and the gap between the two molds, sometimes the plastic or pewter or whatever will seep in between those two molds, and you'll get a mold line. So like this little piece right there, that's a mold line, that's a mold line. I'm not concerned about that because that's going to be covered up by a track. But there is a mold line right along there. Now on the end of one of these tracks, I think it was this one right here, on the end of this track, the mold, it was excessive, and it was very thin, but it stuck out a good, you know, a millimeter, 2 millimeters, and it was excessive. That is flash. That is a mold line is subtle. Flash is excessive. And then where I snipped it off of the sprue, that little piece right there where the plastic was injected in, because it gets injected into this sprue and it brings it to each of the pieces. The part where you actually cut it off has a little burr remaining, and that's what you actually remove when you remove the burr. Okay, I hope that helps you guys out. All right, so now let's assemble this. There's no reading involved. It looks like you take one of these and one of these, and you put them together. Okay, now I built a tiger tank using this method before, so okay, I think that one definitely goes on that one, but this one, aha, it can only go on one way. I love it when it's like that. Ah, they do line up. Okay, so those teeth are lined up. Let's see if I can line these teeth up. You see what I'm doing? I'm not applying any glue. I'm ensuring that I got the right pieces with the right pieces. Okay, that one lines up. All right, so because inside the little hole, it's not circular, it's flat on one side, so you had to put it in just the right way. Okay, so we're using the DAP Rapid Fuse. Rapid Fuse dries in like 15 seconds. So it's awesome. Don't get it on your fingers because you'll be dried. Done. This one. I don't know if it's on camera, if you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Wasn't paying attention. Okay, so I got those two bogey wheels. They're probably already dry. Okay, so we're going to do the... That's the right. This is the left. Okay. The left, it looks like one of these bogey wheels goes there. Okay, got it. Okay, and again, it can only go in one way, so. And it looks like the teeth are exposed so that they're not covered by the tracks. The part that is covered by the tracks is smooth. I guess they did that. Guess you heard that snap in there. Okay, he's in. In like Flynn. It's very tight. I'm not sure why it's so tight. Ah, I'm in. Okay, done. Now, when you look at these tracks, you got a flat portion of the track, and then there's another track over here that you've got kind of a dip. This is obviously the top because it goes over the bogey wheels and drags down on top of the other bogey wheels. So you just got to figure out which ones go which. Oh, this bottom anyway. Doi. Doi. Okay. There we go. Oh, yes. This is the one that goes on this one. Fits nice and properly. Okay, so we're going to put some glue on this thing. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the top of these bogey wheels where the tracks rest against the bogey wheels. And then I'm going to hold it for like 10-15 seconds. And it should be dry. We're going to do the same on this side. What I do is I'm placing the that's the bottom. I'm placing the model together before, yep, that one went together like super easy. Okay. Before I apply any glue, just to make sure the parts are actually fitting together the way they're supposed to, you know. Yep, that one went together even easier than that one. I'm just going to hold it for 10 or 15 seconds. I'm applying a little bit of pressure because I want the tracks to rest right on top of the bogey wheels. Okay, that one keeps popping up, so let's hold that one down. Okay, that one's good. Now we do the bottoms. Now the longer portion of the bottom should be the part that's here, but we'll find out once I start assembling it. Yep, that one goes there. Let's make sure this one goes here. Yep, I can see I'm going to have to apply some stretchy pressure on this one. Okay. It's a little notch that has to fit together in the front and in the back. And as long as those fit together, everything will be nice and tight. There we go. Okay, now I'm squeezing. I'm going to give it a good 15 seconds. Yep, they're together. All right, let's do that on this side. Now, if you're not using this type of glue, like if you're using model glue, or the glue that's included. You might want to get some rubber bands or some clamps to ensure that they stay tight together until it dries. But with this DAP rapid fuse, it's okay. I can hold it for 15 seconds. I'm willing to do that for you guys. Okay, that one fit together perfect, so we'll just let it, I'll just hold it for another 15 seconds. Okay, this back piece isn't actually curing super fast, so I'm just going to hold it for another 15 seconds. Okay, perfect. Let's let that sit off to the side just a moment while I cut out the next step. The next step is the lower hull. And the back of the hull. The rear of the hull, I should say. And it looks like there's some tow cable areas, tow thingamajiggers. There's one there and one there. So let's pop a couple of those out. Now these are thin and delicate, so you got to be careful not to pop it like I almost just did. There we go. Now using our X-Acto knife, we go through and we clean the burrs. I don't see any flash. I do see burrs though. Okay, burrs. Now we go through these. Mold lines. Be careful not to remove lines that are supposed to be there. I almost did. Okay. That was a pretty giant burr. Now, one way I remove mold lines is I'll take my X-Acto knife and I'll drag it across the model backwards. The burr, I'll use the front of the blade because it's usually chunkier. But mold lines or any kind of flash sometimes you have to cut off, but mold lines I can usually just drag my knife across and get rid of the mold lines. Okay, that's all good. So, well, they show a couple of other things right here. I got to do that first because it's on there. Okay, I almost missed that part. It's the exhaust pipes. Oh, and that's one big piece. Okay. Yeah, there's one big piece. I thought it was two of them with a sprue connecting them, but in fact, it's one piece, and that's actually a bar. I kind of like that fact. Instead of having me to put the jack and two different exhaust pipes and the bar, it's all one piece. Oh, that piece of plastic went flying. Okay. It's delicate, so be careful about removing these burrs. Okay, little burr right there. And that's it. Okay, perfect. And that goes on the back of this. So let's just glue it straight on there. It's got a couple of slots where the bar goes that would normally hold the exhaust. Okay, I'm going to put a little glue on the end of the bars, because that's not where the bars go, that's where the exhaust goes. But this bar does rest against the back hull, so I put a couple of drops of glue on there. Getting on my fingers. Okay, that's dry. That's pretty good already. All right, so now this is the back of the hull. Okay. The raised part here with the gearbox, that's the front of the hull. Okay, there's only pretty much one way this can go in. A little glue here, put a little glue along this rail. Right there, maybe on this. Okay. Slide those down inside there. All right, so now we're going to count to 15. Put those two together. Yep, everything's fit right where it needs to be. Count to 15. Oh, it should kind of sit like so. Nice. Okay. Back fits in a couple little slots. Let's pop those out. Apply some glue. All back's covered in Zimmerit. That's pretty cool. All right, so you're getting a Panther. It's starting to be put together. Now I still haven't put these on yet. Okay, that bird didn't come off. Still not coming off. Okay, let me cut it off. Oh, let's do it this way. Cut down so I don't break this clamp. Whoops. It's so flimsy, you got to be careful. Okay, there we go. There we go. So now let's find those places where they go. Okay, there's a couple of little holes right there. And it looks like the big portion, there's like a big nut, or lug nut or whatever, that goes to the inside away from the track. not perfectly lined up, as you can probably see. There we go. Now let's do the other side. Okay, and so basically just let them hang down. Get that flipped up. There you go, like gravity's holding it down. All right, and just let that sit for a moment while we move on to the next step. The next step is the top hull. I'm up by here. Okay. This guy looks like it's got a couple of tracks that hang on the side, or I should say track links. All kinds of things. Okay. Okay, nothing else on that screw. There is a hatch. There is a water can container, it looks like. It's like a searchlight or something. Okay. No, that's the barrel retaining clip thing. Looks like a light cover or something. What number is that? 32. That's this thing? Okay. Oh, it's a hatch, but it's got Zimmerit on it. Okay. Okay. Looking for all the things. And a machine gun. Number oh, wait, the bar. Okay. It's not an actual breaker bar. It's where the breaker bar is held, stored. Okay. And then there is number 20, which is a machine gun. Yeah, it even shows the inside of the machine gun. Not that you'd ever see the inside. You know, the pistol grip and the shoulder stock and all that. Okay, those are all those pieces for the hull. Now let's trim them. Okay, I'm going to get rid of all the flash and the burrs, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've cut off all the burrs and flash and the mold lines. Let's go ahead and start putting this together. The first thing I want to do is let you know that there is an alternative to the hatch. The hatch can go on closed or open. If you go open, you could probably put a person or a model inside there as the crew. It only includes the top crew, so I'm going to glue this closed. Yeah. Just put a little glue around, put the little pin in the hole. Pivot it closed. It's closed. There is a barrel retaining I guess you would call it a cradle. Goes right up there in the front. One hole, two holes. There we go. That thing. Okay. Now on the driver's hatch, whoa, it's open. And it has a little lid that I guess could be closed like that. Okay. We're going to hold off on doing the machine gun until the end. Okay. This bar, these holes look like they're not fully opened. So we're going to open them. There we go. Yep, that works. Okay. There is a fatter and a thinner peg, and there's a fatter and a thinner hole, so there's no way to get it mixed up unless you cut the hole too big. There we go. And there we go. You gotta push it in. There we go. Okay, remember those two track pieces? They go on the back. They're both exactly the same? Okay, good. Try not to use excessive glue because you'll be filling in the little minor details of the zimmerit, and you don't want to do that. Right, you don't want the zimmerit to be filled in. Okay, and the tracks are on the sides now. Whoops. Okay, we're going to give those tracks I wonder if they should be pushed up. I bet you they're supposed to be up like that. Okay, so I'm turning them over. Yep, that's probably how they're supposed to go. Okay, we're going to give them a few seconds to rest. One more thing. This thing goes on the side. The top and bottom of it is exactly the same. Oh, it does have a slope. Okay. The peg itself is sloped, so I'm going to slope it upward. That's what the picture shows. All right, he's in there, tracks are in there, the bar, that. Last thing is the machine gun, right? Okay, there is a bracket on the top of this machine gun that I didn't realize, and there's a little hole on the top of a peg hole, I guess, to put that little bracket in. To make it just the right position, I guess. Okay. So the machine gun's got to go out the hole and then into that little cradle. And then it sticks out like that. Yep. All right, so we're going to let that sit and dry for a moment. What is the next step? Putting the two loops on the front. Where are those at? Right there. All right, here we go. Okay. The two skirts. Skirts, loops, that's it. Okay. So I'm going to clean the skirts and the loops, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue these two toe points on. It looks like, yep, big lug nut goes to the inside. So we got the toe cable right there. Now I do think I probably should put this on first. Yeah. Okay, that's obviously not the right size. Well, for one thing, yeah, okay, yeah. That's not the right positioning. But over here, it's obvious. Okay, so it only goes on one way. That's what we'll be able to do. Okay, let's drop 4 pieces of glue in here on both sides. Let's do both sides. Okay. Let's put the skirts on. Nice. They go on pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to hold that one in a little bit because it looks like it's bulging out, like the plastic is not perfectly smooth. That's all right. So we'll count. Okay, perfect. So then we go ahead and take the upper hull. I'm probably going to have to slide it down in there. Yep, this is going to have to snap in front of this down into there. Okay. Okay, so let's hold this front down because there's a big gap in the front. I'm going to hold the front together so that I'm holding the front together because there's a little bit of a gap, and let the glue dry. Alright, so the front started, it kept separating on me, so what I did was I went ahead and grabbed one of my hobby clamps and I clamped it down so that it will dry, connect it. And we're gonna let that sit for a little while I work on the next step, which is the turret. Okay, so we got an under turret, the turret ring we'll call it. The upper turret, the rear of the upper turret, mantle pieces, the barrel, the cupola, the cupola ring, very fragile, so be careful with this piece, cupola ring, the inside of the turret cannon piece, the hatch for the turret cupola, cupola. There is a machine gun for the commander. But I am not going to include the commander. Okay. How do I get this piece off of there? Just like that. Okay, that piece looks good. Okay, I'm going to trim this, and then we'll be right back. All right, so let's go ahead and assemble this thing. We have the top of the turret, and we're going to attach the back of the turret directly to it. Okay, and then that turret should go directly onto the turret ring. There's nothing that you need to do on the inside of the turret, so don't worry about like don't worry about sealing up the turret and not being able to get to the inside, because there's nothing you're going to be doing on the inside. Okay, we're going to hold all this in place for a good no time. I'm just going to set it right there. All right, now we're going to build the cupola. Okay, actually I'm not going to build any of that. I'm just going to start attaching it. The cupola goes directly onto, whoa. Directly on. Okay, whoa. Come on. Okay, when you put the cupola on, be sure to put the hatch swivel on the outside. Now, I'm not going to have the hatch being open. I'm going to have it closed. I'm not going to have it, it's going to be buttoned up, basically. No commander sticking out the hatch. So we take the hatch, put it in the hole, and push it flush against the top of the cupola. Okay, like that so far. And then you got a machine gun turret ring. The ring goes down into these little dots. Usually it should cover all these little points, so we'll put a little glue on all the points. There we go. And then you see this little bracket that sticks out. That's where the machine gun will rest on there. I think I'm going to hold off on doing that until the very end. Let's build the mantle and the gun. Okay, so the mantle and the gun goes through the outer mantle, obviously. I didn't go in very far, but okay. Through the inner mantle, which way is which? I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue on the outer mantle where the barrel slides in with the little pin on the inside going up and down. There we go. So that'll get your exhaust in the right position. This piece, I do believe, is not to be glued. I think it just sits in there. And then, but I don't see how this would fit in there and be able to reach the pen. Okay, hold on. All right, so this little piece here, it's like a little T piece, goes into a little cradle right there. You got to roll it over. And then the glue will be from there to there. But you know what? I'm not concerned about that because it's all just going to be glued together anyway. I'm not going to have it so that you can raise and lower the cannon. I'm not going to worry about all that. Okay, I went and grabbed my tweezers. Okay. It's in there. Now let's glue the barrels or the mantle. To the turret. All right, it's in. Now I've got it up a little bit too high probably. Yep, well, it's glued in there now. Okay. Aha, there we go. I got it to move. Yeah, I wanted to level it out a little bit. There, so now the turret's level. Yep. And one of the last things before I put the machine gun on is to do the antenna. Okay, I'm going to put the antenna on. Before I do that, I'm going to make sure it's trimmed a little bit. Making sure the burrs are removed. Drop of glue in the antenna radio housing. The antenna goes right on in there. All right. Before I take that clamp off, let's go ahead and get this machine gun where it belongs. Okay. I'm going to touch it. Okay. Blow on it. Let it sit for a couple of seconds. Now I'm going to press and hold it into the little bracket area. Count to 30. So I didn't even make it to 30, I got to 20. There's the machine gun. All right. Now, I think this has been sitting long enough. Let's pull it off. See if the glue holds. Okay, put the turret on. Doesn't like the way I put that hatch down there. It works though, it turns, okay. There you go. Completed Panther. Right. Not painted yet, but all I really need to do is paint maybe the rubber around the bogies, the tracks, a few other pieces around here and there. I'm going to spray the whole thing this color. Actually, it's going to be a little bit lighter because I'm going to put a big wash on it. It's going to bring the color down. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry a little bit before I start painting on it. Well, thanks for coming out and checking out this video on how to do the Panther. I don't know if I've got autofocus on or not, but I'm going to hold it up a little bit so you can kind of see. Whoop, there. And here's a couple of German bolt action miniatures kind of beside it, so you can kind of get a scale. Alright guys, well thanks for coming out and checking out this video, and follow along with my market garden project that I'm doing right now, and stay tuned on the channel for more of these, because I plan to do more of these models. And if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to hit the notification icon so anytime that I upload a new video you'll be notified. And I'll catch you next time.